Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast. We are launching into a deep dive today, and we're analyzing something that I think for most of us is a huge untapped strategic asset, the daily commute. For most people, that travel time is just, well, it's seen as mandatory overheads, wasted time we just have to endure.
Exactly. And that perspective is really the problem, When we look at professional efficiency, the guide we're digging into, written by Felix Rumer for smartkeys.org, it frames the average commute as this massive cumulative block of time. I mean, if you travel 45 minutes each way, 5 days a week, you're losing over 30 hours a month. So this deep dive is all about transforming that time, whether you're driving, on a train, walking into a powerful systematic block for developing skills and mental agility.
Okay, so let's really unpack this. Our mission here is to pull out the practical, strategic routines that you can implement immediately.
Right, the small behavioral shifts.
Exactly, the shifts that help you reclaim those minutes and turn them into a real career investment. So, what are the core pillars of this strategy?
Well, Romer boils it down to 3 high-leverage principles: intentionality, medium matching, and friction management. First, you have to set a clear purpose for each trip.
Just one purpose.
Just one. Second, you have to match the content medium, a podcast, an audiobook, even just thinking time to the length and environment of your trip. And third, and this is crucial, you eliminate all friction by lining up your content before you go. If you get on the train and spend even 60 seconds searching for an episode, you've already lost. The cognitive flow is broken.
That concept of friction management is so foundational. I mean, for any high performer, decision fatigue is the real enemy of consistency. And that brings us to what the guide calls the single aim strategy. You don't try to do everything. You pick one goal for the ride.
And this is such a powerful way to reduce cognitive load. Most people dread the commute because it's another time they have to plan what to do. The single aim strategy just flips that script. Before you leave, you commit to one thing.
Like what, for example?
It could be learn one insight from my presentation, or map my top 3 priorities, or even just arrive at work calmer. That narrow focus means your effort isn't scattered and you're guaranteed a win no matter how short the trip is.
So you've already reduced the mental load before you even step out the door. Okay, so now let's talk about prep. We're dealing with, subways, patchy service areas, environments that are inherently unstable for tech.
Right. Which is why the Go Kit idea has to be more than just a list of gadgets. It's about building in redundancy. Yes, you need noise-canceling headphones, a portable charger, of course. But the critical takeaway from the source is the need for offline content.
Oh, yeah. So no buffering.
No buffering. If you're underground and lose your signal, your focus time is immediately derailed. You have to pre-download everything, audiobooks, course modules, whatever it is.
And on the safety side, particularly for cars, the guide is clear. All interaction has to be hands-free, pre-programmed, and voice-assisted. The tech has to support the focus, not break it.
Absolutely. The system needs to be invisible. And to make it a real habit, Rumer talks about the trigger habit. This is just a tiny physical cue that tells your brain, okay, focus time has begun.
So like plugging in your earbuds the second you tap your travel card.
Exactly that. Or hitting a commute focus mode on your phone. That little ritual removes the daily negotiation you have with yourself about whether you feel like doing it today.
Okay, trigger set. So the last piece of this foundation is minimizing friction on the tech itself. The strategy here is just brutal simplicity. You pick one app, your podcast player, your Kindle, whatever. You set a 2-item queue. You get in, you press play. No searching.
And it's that 2-item limit that's so smart. A list of 10 podcasts just invites decision fatigue. 2 items, what's next and what's after that, makes the choice automatic.
All right, so we've eliminated friction. Let's talk content. For most commutes, audio is king. But how do we make sure listening to podcasts or audiobooks isn't just passive background noise?
This is where we have to differentiate between casual listening and strategic consumption. We all have the simple discovery apps, but for serious productivity, you need apps with custom playback features.
What features are we talking about specifically? What are the high-leverage tools here?
The ability to customize skip intervals is paramount. Apps like Overcast or Pocket Casts let you set the forward skip to, say, 15 seconds.
Oh, perfect for bypassing sponsor reads.
Exactly, or a segment that's not relevant to you. It's rapid on-the-fly editing that saves cumulative hours. Plus, they have better queue management and volume normalization, which is essential on a noisy subway.
Okay, so let's get tactical. Speed hacks. The guide is pretty specific, recommending playback speeds of 1.2 to 1.8x for podcasts. But Doesn't listening at 1.8x just turn learning into another source of stress? I mean, what does the source say about the cognitive load there?
That's a really critical question. And the source does acknowledge that if speed pushes you past comprehension, you've lost the investment entirely. Rumor suggests you find your personal sweet spot, maybe around 1.5x for complex stuff. The goal is efficiency, but not frantic auditory scrolling. It forces you to focus, but if you're constantly rewinding, what's the point?
So the efficiency gain has to be real, not just a number on a screen. And that leads to matching the medium to the duration.
Precisely. This is content matching. Brief chapters or short daily podcasts for those 20-minute trips. You save the deep, immersive, hour-long stuff for longer, uninterrupted journeys where you can really get into it. The advice is to keep two cues going, one practical book on a hard skill and one story-driven title for lighter decompression days. That prevents burnout.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. How do we apply this to something like online courses? How do we convert the commute into real, sustained professional development?
It's all about microchunking. You're not trying to finish a whole module. You're aiming for 10 or 15-minute segments that align perfectly with your travel time. The key is making sure the course material is audio optimized. You need downloadable audio or tools that convert transcripts to speech so you can listen offline. A week of that, and you've made real progress on a certification.
Right, so you save the active tasks, the quizzes and exercises, for when you have a screen and keyboard. But what about making the learning stick right away?
If you don't convert the learning into a commitment immediately, it just evaporates. Rumor's advice is to capture one takeaway and one next action right after each lesson segment.
A next action.
Yeah, that could be putting a meeting on your calendar, scheduling 5 minutes to research the topic. That action is the bridge from passive listening to active professional behavior.
I love this transition. We've talked a lot about consumption, but now we're moving from input to output. The commute as a quiet lab for ideas.
Exactly. This strategic thinking time is why the commute matters for high-level problem solving. The isolation of the car or the quiet of noise-canceling headphones is the perfect environment for it.
So you start with a single prompt before you leave, right? What's the most complex problem I need to solve this week?
And the capture mechanism has to be instant and hands-free. This isn't for neat notes. You use voice memos, Google Keep, Evernote, whatever, to get that raw stream of consciousness down. It's messy, but the idea is captured. You clean it up later.
The guide also has this great technique for structuring that thinking time, the structured thinking approach.
Yes. You map your route to your thought process. The first 15 minutes might be for planning. The middle 20 minutes are for pure brainstorming and solutions. And the last 5 minutes before you arrive are for defining next actions. It stops your mind from just looping on the problem.
And what if you're completely stuck on something? There's the reverse engineering trick. How does that work?
It's a really powerful cognitive shift. Instead of focusing on the obstacle, you describe the outcome you want as if it has already happened, in rich detail.
Can you give an example?
Sure. For a product launch, you'd record something like, the launch was a huge success. The team was celebrated. The press loved it. Adoption hit 50% in the first quarter. Once you've anchored that future success, you just work backward. What steps must have happened to get there? It bypasses that feeling of paralysis.
That's brilliant. It turns ambiguity into a clear path. Okay, let's talk communication. The commute can also be a great time to handle small work items without it eating into your evening.
This is a huge win for work-life boundaries. You can shift casual catch-ups to asynchronous audio on Voxer or WhatsApp. It's talk when you can, which is so much more flexible. And if you do take a live call, Rumor's efficiency rule applies. One question, one decision. That's it. If it gets more complicated, you schedule a proper meeting.
Right. Or instead of typing out a long update to your team while you're parked, you just record a quick audio note. It preserves your tone, and it's so much faster.
And finally, let's not forget the strategic use of music. This isn't just background noise. It's about intentional emotional regulation, setting your neural tone for the day.
The idea is two distinct playlists, right?
Yeah.
An energizing AM setup beat, maybe instrumental to get the brain going, and a calming PM, mix ambient, mellow to unwind.
And the secret sauce is the mindset anchor. You pair a short intention like, show up fully today, with that first song. It anchors the mindset you want to a physical cue.
Speaking of that PM mix, let's look at the ride home. It has to be treated as a non-negotiable buffer between work and life.
The decompression ritual is essential for psychological health. If you skip it, work just bleeds into your evening. The ritual is simple: 3 deep breaths, a quick reflection, and some compassionate self-talk. The phrase to internalize is, I did what I could today. I will return to this with fresh energy tomorrow. It's a conscious act of release.
And if stressful thoughts are looping, especially on packed train,
You have to externalize them. The mind hates open loops, so you record a 1-minute voice note, tomorrow's issues, and promise yourself you'll deal with it then. You mentally put work in an inbox and close it for the night. A short guided meditation or just some breath work can do wonders here too.
okay, so we've decompressed. Now, how do we convert that clarity into momentum for the next day?
This is where planning meets commitment. It's the 2-minute agenda. In the last 2 minutes of your commute home, you prioritize your top 3 tasks for tomorrow, plus the one single thing that must get done. You wake up already ahead of the game.
And here's the key action. Decisions beat lists. You take all those ideas from your voice memos and you convert them into concrete actions on your calendar. You assign an owner and a deadline. It's not a list, it's a commitment.
The real power here is just consistency. Mixing your content queue every day, hitting one course module a week, it's a quiet, cumulative investment in your own capability.
So let's bring it all home. What's the one definitive takeaway that helps you stick with this system?
You adopt the when-then rule. It's the ultimate behavioral anchor. It connects your new habit to something you already do.
For example,
When I park the car, then I will send that one important email. Or when I get to the platform, then I will open my course app. That clarity turns an intention into a commitment that ships. It ensures you see progress and stay ahead.
that's a phenomenal way to make sure these small choices lead to big cumulative gains. Optimizing the commute really is about maximizing time, minimizing stress, and making a critical investment in your long-term capability.
Agreed. It's an easy win just waiting to be claimed.
Thank you for tuning in to the SmartKeys podcast.
We hope these insights help you transform your travel time from overhead into opportunity.
We encourage you to subscribe to the SmartKeys podcast for more insights on productivity and the future of work. The full guide, Productive Commutes, written by Felix Romer, is linked in our show notes. Check it out to see the specific apps and strategic routines we discussed today.